One mayor in the city of Pittsburgh, I will never forget him. We were doing a story, all of a sudden I realized that here, a certain party would get all the black vote, and being that the black voters were the cake makers, and they were not receiving anything in return, no jobs or what have you. So I started, and thanks to the Pittsburgh Court, which I look on as my alma mater, I started a series of pointing out about the employment in city and county government that was getting all the black vote and not giving anything in return. And so as a result, it got so none of the persons in power would give me an audience. And it got so hot that I had to have an audience. So this one person, I'm not going to name him, but anyhow, I went into it. Finally, it got so hot, he allowed me to come into his office. And I'll never forget it. And so when I came into the office, he hit me upside my shoulder. And nobody ever hit me upside my shoulder. So what happened? I said, bam! Mayor! I'm not going to name his name. I said, I think I got as much Irish in me as you would do you. And I hit him and knocked him across the floor. And if it had not been for, I should have been arrested, but if it had not been for one person there, I probably would have been arrested. But however, after that, things started changing. Not only for the city of Pittsburgh, but also for Allegheny County. And I see a friend of mine who was one of those fighters throughout. This is Alma Fox. And it so happened that after Dr. King's assassination, and I was attending a hockey game at the Civic, you know what, a basketball team, when Pittsburgh had a major basketball team, and it was a championship game. And one fellow leaned over to me and said, I apologize to you, but they just assassinated Dr. King. And so I told my son to get home because I would be busy tonight. So I got home and sure enough, KDK radio called me up to get out on the job. And and the town was burning. Oh, in the hill district we were burning. I went over to the north side. And in the north side, the brother and the sister said, you better get your out of here with that KDK new wagon. And you know what I did? I got out of there. And they told me what they're going to do with me, so I got out of that. But thanks, I'm just so happy that I report this story, and I report the stories, and I always looked on myself as having, you heard the term Yankee ingenuity. I call myself having black Yankee ingenuity. And anytime there's a story to cover, I don't care where it was. KDK hesitated to send me to West Virginia during the mine disasters of the 60s. And during the time that George Walls was campaigning, he was very popular in West Virginia. And I could understand why he was. And so anyhow, the station was hesitant to send me to cover the mine disaster. I told him, hey, don't worry about it. my father was a coal miner, and I know exactly what the people are undergoing. So they sent me to cover the story. And my family told me not, you might not be able to understand, but I'm going to tell you how, because I'm proud of it. Have you seen a hillbilly looking like me? Huh? Have you? I don't think so. Anyhow, I was made an honorary hillbilly. Because what happened is that I knew what the people were undergoing, because many times I saw my father go into the coal mine, and I had that fear that I would never see him again. So I knew what the family were undergoing, so I became one of them. And I would go to the church services, I would go to the meetings and everything. And so when it was all over, the head of the Hillbilly Society came up to me and said, would you like to become an honorary hillbilly? I said, oh yeah! So not only did they make me an honorary hillbilly, they also, if you want to get the reports, they got all the tape reports from KDK radio news that they have in the archives in West Virginia, capital West Virginia. And so I covered I'm a hurry up because
my dad has a lot of good stories to tell. And I'd like to say I really appreciate Ms. Aldrich, the time that she spent with him. I heard so many of the stories over the years, but the way that she captured and expressed it with her words were so wonderful. So, yeah.
I thank you very much. And they always say,